Hi, everyone. It's Dr. Arlene Diamco, the Multidimensional MD. Thanks so much for joining me. And today's episode, 155, I'm going to go over nail signs of nutritional deficiency. So, a little bit different today, and I'm going to share with you some pictures so that you can take a look at your own nails, because the more you know about yourself, then the more you can help yourself. And your body is constantly sending you signs, symptoms, messages for how to take care of you, this sacred body, which is your home for this life. So, we're going to focus on the nails in this episode, and we'll go ahead and get started. And I'm going to go through some common signs, and then I'll go through some that are less common. And then at the very end, we're going to go through a really quick acupressure nail exercise that you can do. So, first off, if you have brittle nails, then this can be a sign of vitamin K2 deficiency, vitamin A deficiency, biotin, B7 deficiency. So, all of these things are needed for the hardening of the nails. The vitamin K2 helps to bring the calcium to the nails. So important for so many other reasons. And I did an episode on that before. So, if you need more biotin, vitamin A, K2, then you can get biotin from organ meats, from sweet potato, from avocado, from egg yolks, almonds, beans, mushrooms. So many different things. In vitamin A, you can get that through those orange and deep colored fruits and veggies. And the K2, you can get that from fermented foods, including sauerkrauts or animal products that have been grass-fed. So organ meats, butter, cheeses. So I'm going to be repeating a bunch of these things over and over again. Next, we're going to run through these very briefly so that you can get an idea. White spots on the nails. So what are these white spots on the nails? They look kind of like that. And you can have just a single spot like that, or you can have many white spots on the nails. And that is a classic sign for zinc deficiency. And I talked about in episode 124 why you need zinc. Often I'll see people come in with focus issues, or parents will bring their kids in with focus issues. And if I take a look at their nails, then really often we can see those little white spots, meaning they have a zinc deficiency. Zinc deficiency is also important in cognition and attention and calm. So again, minerals, you can find them in seafood, in nuts, dairy, whole grains, meat. Those are all good sources of zinc. And if you need to take a supplement, then zinc picolinate would be the best one. So moving on, longitudinal lines on the nails. So I have to show you this picture in this book. So can you see it right there? Yeah, so you see those little ridges on the nail. There's longitudinal ridges. And I'll keep an eye on my nails because sometimes I'll get that. And that can be a sign of many different mineral and vitamin deficiencies. So the B vitamins, various B vitamin and complex in general, omega-3s, again, vitamin K2. So you're starting to hear these kind of trends, certain B vitamins, omega-3s, vitamin K2, zinc. So longitudinal lines focus on getting a B complex, adding more omega-3s to your diet, again, getting that vitamin K2 to help bring the calcium to the bones. And the B vitamins that tend to be involved are, again, that vitamin B7, that biotin, and you can also have B3, niacin, B6, pyridoxine, and you can get these from dark greens, as well as beans, whole grains, fish. So these are all really ways to eat healthy. So if you're taking a look at your nails and they're either brittle or have those longitudinal lines, then look at how you can get more of these different nutrients into your diet. So next, I'll show you a picture of spoon nails, or koilonychia. And here's a picture of that. So you see how it has that concavity to it. So those are called spoon nails or colonychia, and that can be a sign of iron deficiency. So these things, they don't form right away when you're deficient in something. Sometimes it can take many months of being deficient in a certain nutrient before it starts to show up in your nails, because the nails are relatively slower growing. So it will take a while for you to see that whole shape. And if you see spoon nails, then definitely check your iron levels, check for anemia, and you want to get more iron in your diet. So, and from beans, from dark greens, from some certain nuts and seeds, and of course from animal products, from meats. Now, if you have a lack of what they call lunulas. So let me show you a picture of that. So a lunula is that nice little white crescent that you see at the base of your nail. So you're supposed to have that on most of your nails. And now I'm looking at my nails and I could have a better lunula. So that's really interesting. So if you don't have lunulas on most of your nails, then it could be a sign of poor circulation or a need for more cellular oxygen. And so, how can you get more oxygen into your cells? Well, you need antioxidants and you need vitamin C, you need vitamin E and alpha lipoic acid. There are studies that show that vitamin E and alpha lipoic acid can help blood oxygen levels. So it can also be helpful in high altitudes. Also, look for anemia from a variety of sources, including iron deficiency anemia. So I'm going to show you that picture again. And if you do not have lunulas on most of your nails, then consider the need for that you might have a mild anemia, or just needing to improve circulation in various ways, needing certain antioxidants, vitamin C, vitamin E, alpha lipoic acid to help your cellular oxygen levels and to help with your circulation in general. So next, we are going to take a look at onychomycosis. I know that is not such a great photo there to look at. So if you have any of that kind of like coloring, discoloration to your nails, toenails, fingers, especially if you play a lot of sports. So fungus likes to grow in moist environments, but it is a sign that your flora in general can be off. So it's not just a sign of your nails, it's a sign of like what's going on in the inside as well. So your gut flora could be altered, and most likely you have more yeast in your gut flora. And so it would be a sign to have less sugar, less processed carbs in your diet. Try to get like more nutrients in general, those dark greens and whole foods. And of course, talk to someone about getting those the nail fungus treated. So now we're going to go to like less common things, including clubbing. So this is a sign of clubbing here. So you see that convexity of the nail bed, and that can happen when let me show you myself again. That can happen when there are low oxygen levels overall, so for a longer period of time. So it could happen with prolonged childhood asthma that is not controlled, or if there's chronic respiratory issues. So we don't see it as often, but you can see that more in chronic disease. And then we talked about those longitudinal lines, but you can also have some transverse lines, so going across the nail bed. And there are a variety of different transverse lines. So let me show you some pictures. The first one are these Merck's lines. So Merck's lines are those double white lines. They're usually seen on multiple nails. If you press the nail bed, then it would blanch, so they would disappear. And those are due to some kind of systemic illness, stress over time, chemotherapy. Often there's low albumin protein. You could have all various kinds of illnesses, liver disease, kidney disease. So in those cases, there's often a need for like multiple nutrients and investigation for like other kinds of illnesses going on. So you can also get other kinds of transverse lines. These are Mies lines. So when you press on it, they don't necessarily go away, but those are also associated with stress or illness. It could be a sign of toxicity. And those Mies lines are a little bit different than the Merck's lines because they don't disappear when you press on them. And also they tend to grow out like the rings of a tree. So it shows you a period of time where there was some sort of stress on the body, a serious stress like toxicity, arsenic poisoning, or chemotherapy, and then they grow outward. These similar stresses can cause both the Mies lines or the Merck's lines. So it's again considering like what's going on. And if you have some indentation on those transverse lines, then those are called Bose lines, and that's considered due to some kind of injury or uncontrolled illness. So any of those transverse lines are a sign of needing more nutrients, a sign of either systemically something going on, or if you have grooves there, it could be a sign of injury. So with that, you have so many different ways to look at your nails and see how are your nails speaking to you? What kinds of messages are they giving to you? Do you have bitten nails? Are you biting your nails? And that can be just a sign of general nervousness and anxiety. And in terms of nourishment, how can you nourish yourself overall? And how can you soothe your nervous system? How can you provide nutrients to your nervous system? So omega-3s, antioxidants, minerals, all these things that we talked about before. You can look at the alkaline diet for more ideas. And we're going to go through this really quick fingernail acupressure massage that you can do. So if you do find yourself biting your nails or wringing your hands, I always think this is a very interesting thing to do. And not for any self-judgment, because if you're nervous or anxious, you might be doing this underneath the table, or even just in going like this, walking around like this. And it is a self-coping mechanism because there are so many acupressure points on your hands, and you're actually trying to soothe yourself. It is a self-soothing thing to do. So if you notice yourself doing that, then you can choose to do these soothing things for your body, mind, and spirit. So this is nourishment overall, not just the nutrients, but nourishing like vitamins and minerals, but also nourishment for your soul, nourishment for your mind. So all you have to do for this fingernail acupressure massage is take a couple fingers, and then on each nail, just massage on either side of it. And there are so many acupressure points and acupuncture meridians. And when you do that, you'll cover most of them. And you can really feel that kind of calming. And as you do that, just keep breathing in and out. You can do this with me. And, sometimes I'll find myself, if I'm nervous about something, I'll do that automatically, even without thinking. Again, it's just sort of like wringing of the hands, but then you can do it purposefully. And when you do it purposefully, you're aligning body, mind, spirit, because you're acknowledging the way that you feel. So you're accepting the way that you feel, and then you're choosing to address it. So choosing to tend to it. So this is such a great little acupressure point exercise, and you can do it anytime, and you can do it under the table so nobody sees you, and if that is a concern to you, or you can teach it to your kids. You can do it when you're talking on the phone, you have a difficult conversation. So anyway, this is always a body, mind, spirit approach. And so I wanted to go through things in a little bit different way and show you some pictures and teach you how you can notice things in yourself and start to understand yourself better. And at some point, I'm going to do other nutrient signs. So we'll go over hair, we'll go over skin. And if you have questions in particular about anything, then please let me know in the comments. You can like and subscribe. And if you want to connect with me other ways, you can on Facebook at All World's Health and Pediatrics, and on Instagram at All World's Health. So thanks so much for joining me today for this brief podcast, and always great to see you here. And I will see you next week, sometime in the middle of the day. My days are getting so full that I have a hard time coming in here at the exact time every week because I have so many other meetings and appointments. But I did want to show up here for you again today. So lots of love to all of you. I believe in you, so I hope that you believe in you too, and I'll see you next time. Bye.